but his violent past hinted at a devil within. Sally Pope was one of the most beautiful and self-possessed women Amanda had ever met, but even she had fallen under Marsh's spell, if you believed the tabloids. Sally Pope's case had sex, celebrity, and violent death. Only one thing was missing: Charlie. "Where is the guru?" screamed the headlines in the national press on the day the trial opened. The question led off every television news hour. Charlie Marsh had disappeared from the Westmont Country Club the instant Arnold Pope Jr. was shot. Like everyone else in America, Amanda wondered where he was now and what he was doing. The Happy Warrior, 2009. Chapter 1.
"It is coming soon, it is coming soon."
Jean-Claude Baptiste, President for Life of the People's Republic of Batanga, told Charlie Marsh in the sing-song English spoken by Africans who'd been raised speaking a tribal dialect. Like most of the other men at the state banquet, Charlie was wearing a tuxedo. President Baptiste, who had never held a rank higher than sergeant, was commander-in-chief of the Batangan army and dressed in the uniform of a 5-star general. "Watch closely," the president said with gleeful anticipation as he jabbed a finger at one of the many huge flat-screen televisions that were mounted along the walls of the banquet hall in the executive mansion. The massive chamber was longer than a football field and was modeled after the Las Vegas casino where Baptiste had won his most important fight. Using flat-screen TVs as wall hangings would have been out of place at Versailles, but they looked perfectly natural amid the mirrored walls, bright lights, and velvet paintings that gave the banquet hall the ambiance of a sports bar. "Now look," the president said excitedly. On all of the screens mounted along the walls, a younger Baptiste was laughing as he drove Vladimir Topalov, the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world, into a corner of the ring. This Baptiste stood 6'6" and weighed 260 pounds. His skin was as black as ink, and the lights in the arena reflected off his smooth, shaved skull. The present-day version of Jean-Claude looked vaguely like the boxer on the screen, but weighed more than 300 pounds, and gave the impression of being 2 large men who'd been glued together. "Look, Charlie, it comes now," Baptiste told the blue-eyed man with blonde hair and tanned, weathered skin who sat to his left at the end of a teak banquet table that easily sat 50. Charlie feigned exuberant interest, as did the 30 other guests. Anyone giving the impression that he was not completely enthralled with Baptiste's fistic skills risked an attitude adjustment session in the basement of the mansion, from which few emerged alive. On the screen, Baptiste's opponent staggered back a few steps. Blood from a deep cut over his right eye was blinding him. The future president of Batanga feinted with a jab before landing a crushing hook to his victim's temple. As Topalov sank to the canvas, both the boxing and presidential Baptistes threw back their heads and laughed uproariously. Though the sound was off, everyone at the banquet knew that Baptiste's many fans were chanting "Ho! Ho! Ho!" as they always did when the Happy Warrior knocked down an opponent. Baptiste had earned his nickname by laughing delightedly whenever he subjected a foe to a particularly awful beating. Topalov had been hospitalized after the bout. The man who had ruled Batanga before Baptiste had not been so lucky. After his knockout of the Russian, Baptiste returned to Batanga for a victory parade, followed by a dinner in his honor given by the previous president of the republic. During dinner, a squad of army officers, bribed with money from Baptiste's fight purse, stormed the banquet hall and engineered a coup. Rumor had it that Baptiste had made several excellent jokes while eating the heart of the ex-president in a juju ceremony that was supposed to infuse him with the deceased's spiritual essence. Baptiste smiled, displaying a perfect set of pearly white teeth.
"Was that not a wonderful punch, Charlie?"
"Very powerful, Mr. President," answered Marsh. Charlie was a foot shorter and roughly 150 pounds lighter than his host. Because he lacked Baptiste's courage and vicious temperament, it had taken a considerable effort to hide his terror during dinner.